Hi everyone, this is Holistic Tanya, and join me for an evening wind down, all levels yoga flow. I like to start by cleansing my space. I burned a little Palo Santo here just to energetically get ready and to wind down and start my practice. And this is a good opportunity if you know that you need any props. If your knees are sensitive, go ahead and grab a blanket. And let's just start in a nice child's pose. So your knees are at the wide edges of your mat, your arms are extended out long, and just take a couple really deep grounding breaths to arrive on your mat. Maybe think of an intention that you'd like to set for your practice this evening, or whenever it is that you're doing this practice. Could be in the morning, in the middle of the day. And once you've set your intention, breathe it deeply into the body and exhale it out the mouth. Now we're going to get onto all fours in our tabletop position and move through a couple rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, you'll drop the belly and lift the gaze for cow pose. And as you exhale, you'll press into the mat, round your spine for cat pose. Move through that a few times on your own, breathing deeply, inhaling and exhaling. If you'd like, you can circle your hips out a little bit. And then extend your left leg back behind you, toes are tucked. And take this time to rock a little bit forwards and backwards, pointing through that left foot, bending it back behind you, coming into a modified side plank or half moon. Placing that left foot down on the mat, reaching your left arm up and overhead, coming into a side stretch. Then that left hand meets the mat, left knee down, returning here to your tabletop, extending the right leg back behind you. Then lifting that right leg up, bending the knee, maybe holding on to the outside of that right foot. Then placing that right foot on the mat, right arm up towards the sky, and then up and over your ear, really getting into that side body. Feeling expansive. And then meeting back in your tabletop on all fours. Moving through another round of cat and cow here. And then let's sit onto our heels, coming into a comfortable seat. Inhale, reaching your arms out wide. And then exhale, giving yourself a nice big hug here, curling in. Inhale, extending from the heart space. And exhale, giving yourself a nice big warm embrace. One more time, inhale, extending. Exhale, curling in. And then after moving through that a couple more times, let's interlace our hands back behind us. Collarbones up towards the sky. And then rotating the head a little bit. Hands are still interlaced behind you, releasing the grasp now. Left arm down, right arm up and overhead. You can sit on your heels here or sit on your mat, crossing your legs in front of you. There's many options. Just make sure that you're in a comfortable seat. And then switching sides, right arm down towards the mat, left arm up and overhead. Really getting into that side body once again. Then extending your left hand down towards the mat, nodding the head forwards and back. Getting into the neck and the shoulder, noticing if there's any tension in the jaw, unclenching there, and then switching over to the other side, left arm down, right fingertips reach towards the mat. Slowly nodding the head forwards and backwards in space, unclenching the jaw. And then from here, let's bring the right arm over the left, coming in to an eagle bind in the arms, getting into the upper back here. So if this isn't accessible for you, you can just give yourself a nice big hug. But as you inhale, you'll feel your fingertips extending up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, curl slightly in towards yourself, getting into a different part of the shoulder and upper back. Then extending your arms out long, bringing the other left arm on top, coming into that eagle bind, or giving yourself a big hug. As you inhale, feel the spine and fingertips extending up towards the sky. And then exhale, slightly curling in, chin to chest. Couple rounds like this. And then gently unwinding. Make any adjustments in your seat to make sure that you're seated comfortably. And then we're going to do some large circles with our head, gently towards the right side. Being aware of not crunching in the back, and then switching the rotation of the head. Make sure that you're maintaining that deep breath at all times. And then let's come back to our tabletop, hands and knees, and come into a balasana. So knees together, fingertips towards the heels, forehead reaching down towards the mat. Returning back to the intention that you set at the beginning of practice. Really taking some long, deep breaths into the back of the heart space. Then when you're ready, coming back onto all fours in your tabletop. And then let's bring our left foot in between the hands, coming into a low lunge. So you really want to make sure that the knee is over the ankle. And if you'd like, you can even rest your chest on that left thigh for a little extra grounding. And then we're going to move into a half split. So slowly extending that left leg, left foot is flexed. As you inhale, feel your spine extending out long. And then bending into that left knee again, coming into your low lunge. Returning to your tabletop and switching sides. So right foot in between the hands. Low lunge here on the right side. Really breathing into that left hip flexor. And then bringing the hips back over that knee, extending your right leg out long, coming into your half split. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Returning to your low lunge briefly, and then onto all fours, tabletop. And then we're going to come onto our back. So go ahead and lay down on the mat. Feet about hip width distance apart. Bring your left knee in towards the chest, left foot up towards the sky. And rotate that foot in one direction, really opening up the ankle. And then figure 4 here. So left ankle over that right thigh, interlacing your hands behind that right thigh or in front of that right shin, bringing your feet, your knees in towards your chest. Maintaining that deep breath throughout the entire practice, inviting that breath into the hips, into the thighs. And then slowly unwinding, right knee into the chest and then right foot up towards the sky. Couple of rotations of that foot and ankle. And then flexing that right foot when you're ready. Placing that right ankle onto the left thigh, bringing your legs in towards your chest, interlacing your hands either behind that thigh or in front of that shin. Noticing if there's any tension in the jaw. Then releasing both feet down to the mat. Knees up towards the sky. As you inhale, we're going to come into a bridge pose. So slowly lifting your hips up towards the sky. Arms are out long beside you. And then exhale slowly, one vertebrae at a time, bringing your hips back down to the mat. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Maybe lifting one foot up towards the sky for a little bit of an added challenge. And then exhale, bringing the foot down, bringing the hips down to the mat. Again, inhale, lifting the hips, maybe lifting the other foot up towards the sky. Strengthening the back side of the body. And then placing that foot down if it's lifted, maybe interlacing your hands underneath you. And then if you have that clasp, release it slowly, bringing the hips back down to the earth. Then let's come into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out wide, wide edges of the mat. Placing one hand on your heart, one on the belly. Maybe softening the gaze or closing the eyes here. Taking in that time to check in with your body. And you can bring your feet to the wide edges of your mat and have your knees knock in towards each other. Placing one hand on the heart and one on the belly. Taking a moment to connect with your heart space. And from here, let's bring the knees up and over towards the right side of the mat, extending the left arm out beside you and gazing towards your left hand, getting into a nice supine twist. Twists are really good for digestion. Digesting things both physically and also emotionally. Taking a couple deep breaths here in your twist. And then gently bringing the knees back up to center, unwinding, shifting the hips slightly towards the right side of the mat, bringing the knees up and over towards the left, extending the right arm out beside you and gazing towards that right hand. And if you'd like, you can start to soften the gaze or close the eyes here, tuning in with your inner landscape. And slowly unwinding, bringing your knees back to center. Then drawing the knees in towards the chest, bringing the feet up towards the sky, coming into happy baby. Holding on to the outsides of the feet if it's accessible. Rocking a little bit from side to side. Maybe extending one leg out and then the other. And then bringing your knees back in towards your chest, bringing the forehead to meet the knees, curling into a tight little ball, giving yourself a nice big hug, and then letting everything extend out onto the mat, taking up as much space as you need, coming into Shavasana, your final resting pose. And feel free to pause the recording and stay here for as long as you need, letting the body fully relax, releasing any tension in the muscles. And then when you're ready, you can roll over onto one side, taking a moment to connect with yourself, soak up all of the benefits of your practice. And then keeping the eyes closed, press yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bring your palms in prayer at the front of your heart. Thanking yourself for showing up for yourself today. Thanking your spirit guides, your ancestors, all of the teachers who have supported you on your path. And then bowing forward in gratitude. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Thank you for moving with me through this practice. Again, my name is Tanya, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.